Alrighty, so it is halftime between Charlotte versus the Philadelphia Union. I thought I'm going to just do a quick preview of the Sunday games that's going to be wrapping up the penultimate match week of the 2022 regular season. And let us jump straight in because we definitely had some games here that have heavy playoff implication. And once again, we're going to have teams that either get a chance to clinch for their playoff position, and then we have teams that is fighting for their playoff lives and trying not to get eliminated, because today we already found out another team that got eliminated from playoff contention. Now, let's get to the first game, which is NYCFC versus Orlando City, which will start at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, but the actual kickoff is 1:08 p.m. local time. NYCFC with a 14-7-11 record, while Orlando is 13-6-12. Now, this game is played at Red Bull Arena, which is a bad news for NYCFC because that is a stadium that they do not have a good record, and that I'm pretty sure there's probably not going to be a lot of fans that's going to be in that stadium, because I've noticed that a lot of NYCFC games that play at Red Bull Arena usually is very sparsely attended, which it makes sense because I think it's kind of embarrassing for NYCFC fans to have to attend a home game in their rival stadium, but add on top of the fact that they always don't get wins there, so that seems like that could be the case. And especially when they're playing against an Orlando team, we know this team can definitely do well on the road, and they definitely have their all-time record in favor of them too here in this one, with a 9-6-6 record over NYCFC. Now, for NYCFC, if they can get a win or a draw in this game, and as long as they don't lose this game, they will clinch a playoff places. And actually, there's different other ways that they can do it, but you know, there's just so many different ways where I'm not going to just put every way in terms of the key points. Now, for Orlando, they can also clinch a playoff position, and to do that, they need to get a win in this one against NYCFC and hope that Columbus lose to the New York Red Bulls. Now, in case if Columbus does lose to the New York Red Bulls, then it's pretty much simple to see how this game is going to turn out. The winner of this game is going to clinch a playoff position. So, and if that is the case, oh boy, yeah, we're going to definitely have both teams that is going to be really going for, knowing the fact that 3 points will be enough for them to clinch a playoff position, and they don't have to worry about the madness that we're going to get in decision day in terms of the Eastern Conference playoff race. So yeah, we'll see who, of course, will get that win for them to clinch their playoff position. And again, there'll still also be a case where both of these teams can clinch their playoff position, especially in NYCFC cases where I think they don't need to win or draw. And even if they lose this game, or even before this game kicks off, depending on the result that's going to be happening tonight, they can actually already clinch their playoff position heading into this game. Now, moving on, we got the Portland Timbers versus LAFC that will start 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, but the actual kickoff is 12:08 p.m. local time. And I like how these games are pretty much separated evenly, and it's kind of like a triple header that we're going to get, with this one being the early start, this one being the lunchtime start, and then this is the afternoon start. But unfortunately, since I have to work tomorrow, yeah, I'm not going to enjoy able to just sit home and watch a triple header, though I will definitely DVR some of these games, and I can just watch through the replay of some of these games. And one of them is going to be the Portland Timbers versus LAFC that will start at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, but the actual kickoff is 12:08 p.m. local time, as this game is going to be on ABC. For the Timbers, 11-3-8, while LAFC 24-8. And in terms of the all-time meeting, it's actually dead even at 5 wins, 5 draw apiece for both of these teams. Now, in terms of the key points and what's at stake for both of these teams, it's kind of different. For the Timbers, obviously, what's at stake is that they can clinch a playoff position if they can get a win against LAFC and hope that Minnesota lose to the Quakes, or they can get a win and hope that RSL lose or draw their matchup. Or in case if they don't get a win in this one, if RSL does lose their game against the Galaxy, then yeah, all they need is a draw. And again, you know, I'm doing this right between the half time between Charlotte versus the Philadelphia Union, with a lot of games that have not been started later tonight. Now, for LAFC, what's at stake for them is a supporters show. And right now, you know, as I'm watching the Charlotte versus Union game, I'm pretty sure a lot of LAFC fans are definitely keeping an eye on this one, because in case of the Union loses, all they need to do is to get a win against the Portland Timbers, and they basically clinch the supporters show, which, again, depending on who you ask, it might be a great achievement, because, you know, you're going to earn a CCL berth, although I think LAFC already did that, but also getting another trophy in hand. Though again, we talk about the supporter shield curse, and that of course is a real thing. So I'm not sure if LAFC fans are going to be that thrilled the fact that they maybe be the one that of course have the honor of winning the supporter shield, and potentially now be that team that maybe is not going to go deep into the playoffs, knowing the fact that LAFC has always had problem in terms of showing up and pulling through in big games. But we'll definitely get to that as the playoffs begin. For now, they're certainly looking to try to get another win to get some momentum heading into the playoffs. And also, I'm pretty sure a lot of teams in the playoff race are cheering for LAFC so that they can maybe knock off the Timbers, and basically now make sure that all these teams that is either fighting or try to stay above the red line are within touching distance. Now, one of those teams that is definitely going to be rooting for LAFC is the Seattle Sounders. So, as I mentioned, the Sounders, even though I know their fans are basically saying their playoff hope is all but dead, it technically isn't. Though, there could be a case that it could be all but dead before this game starts, and we'll talk about in just a bit. But first, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific is the start of this game. But the actual kickoff, 4:25 p.m. local time, as this one is on FS1. Seattle does have the all-time record over Sporting KC, 12-5-9. But coming into this game, Sporting KC 10-7-15, while Seattle 12-4-16. Sporting KC, of course, already eliminated from playoff contention. But if you want to talk about the team that is basically the biggest spoiler, and the team that just does not want any team to make the playoffs, or when they face against teams that are chasing for the playoff position, they're definitely going to try to spoil their chances in every way. That's Sporting KC. I mean, they have won a lot of games against teams that is either fighting for playoff chances or trying to keep themselves above the red line these last couple of weeks, and I won't be surprised they're going to do the same thing in this one against the Seattle Sounders. But like I said, for the Sounders, they technically aren't eliminated yet, but they definitely need a lot of help if they want to keep their hopes alive heading into the final day. First of all, they need to win this game. If they don't win this game, they're basically eliminated. If they do win this game, they're gonna hope that the Galaxy can win against, or the Galaxy, of course, actually not win, but they lose or draw to RSL, and then the Timbers, of course, also lose or draw against LAFC, and then they also hope that Minnesota, of course, would lose to the San Jose Earthquakes. Also, I don't know why, again, I wrote win here. It should be lost. That what I meant there in the key points. But yeah, for the Sounders, and this is also why I said before that, if all those resort basically, or all those games that's going to be happening before this one, and if all those resort basically come true, then yeah, basically they will be eliminated before this game has ever started, and this could be maybe the most meaningless game of this week, with both teams being eliminated. But we'll see whether or not if that is going to be the case. And I think for national television's sake, and certainly for Fox sake, they're hoping that's not the case. They're hoping that at least Seattle has something to fight for, and they don't have to just gotta talk about well, now the playoff streak is over and what next throughout the whole game, and not even just kind of focus on the fact that they're still technically alive in the playoff race. But now moving on, in the next game, in the last game of the penultimate weekend's action of the MLS regular season, is Nashville SC versus the Houston Dynamo. So this game will start at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, but the actual kickoff 7:38 p.m. local time. All time meaning it's one win apiece and one draw for both of these teams. And the key points coming into this game with Nashville, who's 12-11-9, well, they can clinch their playoff position if they can get a win against Houston or draw, or hope that the Timbers, of course, draw against LAFC and they basically clinch a playoff position, and that they're also one of those teams that it doesn't take much for them to clinch a playoff position, which to say that a couple of weeks ago when this team was really falling through a hard time, it's amazing how this team has really turned it around and get to a point where they're in definitely pole position right now in terms of at least getting a home playoff game, which is their next thing that they're targeting. Although again, depending on which Nashville fans you ask, they might not want that, because they know that they're a team that play much better and much more comfortable when they're on the road. Whereas they play against a Dynamo team that is already eliminated from playoff contention, and most of the players are already thinking about what they're going to do in this offseason. So you would think Nashville should get a win at home, right? I mean, you would think, because again, this is something that they might have to do when playoff time comes, where they need to win a game at home. And again, knowing the struggle that they have this season at home, which it has gotten a little bit better, but it's still not a level that I think you can really say to any Nashville fans that they're going to be confident that they can get the job done at home, and that this is a great opportunity to show against a relatively weak team, a team that's already eliminated from playoff contention. But there you have it. That is pretty much it for the preview for the 4 games that's going to be wrapping up the penultimate match week of the 2022 regular season, or the weekends actually, because we do have 2 more games that's going to be happening in the middle of the week before we get Decision Day 2022 in the MLS regular season. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of all these games? As always, let me know in the comments below your prediction for all 4 of these games too. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.